What is the most shocking or surprising thing that's ever happened to you? Was it something someone said? Was it something you saw? Was it something you happened upon? Is it my hat? I want to know. And we're going to find out right after this. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Video Call-In Show, that show that invites you to be a live video guest on this program to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Could be the topic of the day. It could be current events. It could be personal promotions. Is it getting old that I'm saying that? Is it shocking that I'm still saying that after all this time? Well, so be it. Joining is real easy. All you've got to do, point any browser to zoom.us, click on join a meeting, or join if you're trying to join via mobile. Enter in that meeting number right there, right there, right there. And you will come up in my green room, and I will bring you up one at a time, first come, first serve, as time allows. I will be here for about the next hour to do exactly that. My name is Jim, by the way. I am your host of the Video Call-In Show, and I welcome you all to this evening's program. How is everyone? By the way, if that sounds like content that's cool, right? You want to be on the show? You just want to watch? You want to chat? Then make sure that you follow, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ring that bell so you don't miss another episode. We broadcast, by we I mean me, broadcast live every Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and DLIVE, all for your listening and viewing enjoyment. Thanks for being here, guys. Video Call-In Show. Is this a recording? It is not a recording, Dave. It is absolutely not a recording. And welcome to the show, by the way, via DLive. How are you? And we've got Toad5 back again from Twitch. How you doing, Toad5? Good to see you, man. Let's say hello to the rest of the folks we've got in here. So thus far, we've got Eileen, Video the Fam. How you doing, Eileen? Good to see you. Absolutely wonderful to see you. We've got Crap My Dad Makes Me Watch. How are you, Adam? And Nora must be in here as well. He is in here. How you doing, Nora? Good to see you. Bill 56 Bel Air. Awesome to see you in here again, bud. Good to see you. How do I get on the panel? Well, tonight is not the panel show, Bill. But in order to get on the show, it is real easy. If you don't already have Zoom installed, all you've got to do is hit zoom.us. Up in the, I believe it's the upper right-hand corner, you'll see join a meeting. Click on that, and it'll ask you for the meeting number, which is that guy right there, right there. And then you will show up, like I said, in my green room, and I'll bring you guys up one by one to talk about the subject of the night, which is the most shocking or surprising thing that has happened to you. But let's continue where I was. Catherine Cook, how are you? Good to see you. Pixel Pia, Teaching and Learning. Pia, always a pleasure to have you in. And we've got Above and Beyond Drones. Jim, good to see you as well, man. Thanks for being here. Again, Toad5. Appreciate you being here, bud. We've got Green Bay Wacky, Dave. Good to see you, man. Dave is working the DLive. He is. I've seen a couple Dave shows over there. If you guys haven't checked Green Bay Wacky out over on DLive, do. And in fact, when you create a DLive account, make sure you follow both of us. It doesn't cost anything more than being a subscriber. But it's appreciated. The threshold you want to get to over on DLive is 200. It unlocks a few things for you. So do that. Susan Hamilton, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. So anyway, tonight's subject. Oh, that's fine, Pixel, or Pia, Pixel Pia. That's fine. Thanks for jumping in. I appreciate that. I really do. Did say hello to Jim from Above and Beyond Drones. Did I not? Jim, how you doing? Okay, so tonight's subject is the most shocking and the most surprising things that ever happened to you. Now, I had to think long and hard about ones that might have could be used as an example. But I should mention before I move any further that tonight's subject was suggested by M Living Art. Yes, that's M Living Art. She is, in her own way, shocking and surprising. She's a true artist. We haven't seen a lot of M here lately. This is a little clip from her trailer film. She is one of those people who is unbelievably creative and I love watching her stuff. It's just, it's a mind, it's an exercise in your faculties, really, because I try to figure out what she's saying before she says it, but she does such a wonderful job with these. She has done a lot on TikTok lately, and I think that she is going to really thrive doing the TikTok videos. Some of her stuff is just made for that. So if you get a chance, hit M Living Art, and that is M space living space art, and check out her stuff if you would. Appreciate it, M. I hope you're watching or something. But keep up the good work, and it's really fantastic stuff. All right, so back to the shocking and surprising things that have happened to you. And no, it's not my hat. That does not shock me. Although, you know, an F-bomb or two might be dropped on this show. You've got to be ready for that sort of thing if that shocks you. Thanks for being here. We've got some more folks that walked in. I saw Baby Girl Mining Company. How you doing? Good to see you. Robert H. Hello to you. Crazy Ann, how are you? It's good to see you again. It's been a little while. I actually was lurking on a live stream. Where were you with Faith in the Fallen? I popped in there for a few seconds as I was doing some work, and I saw you guys doing a little singing, which was awesome. Look for that subject coming up soon. I'm gonna ask you guys if you karaoke. Now, we don't have to karaoke live on the show, but I want to know your thoughts and your experiences with karaoke. Let me know in the chat or the comments whether or not you think that's a good subject to touch on, and I will make it so. Right now is a little bit of house cleaning. I'm thinking about talking about the YouTube harassment policy Thursday on the news show. I want to know if you guys know, or if you guys want to hear about that. If you don't, that's cool. But it's there's a poll, my first poll ever, on my community tab, folks. So make sure you throw your weight around in that poll, and let me know whether or not that's a subject you even want to approach. What is Dave saying? I would be rich if I had an F-bomb jar on my shows. I know, man. I know. Wouldn't it be cool if you got paid for every curse word? Well, I don't know if that'd be cool. Can you imagine the abuse? Even hardened ears like mine would have trouble putting up with too much of that, Dave. It'd be a great experience, though. Oh, super chats for F-bombs. That would be awesome. I don't know. Just a thought. Or maybe lemons if you're into the DLIVE thing, which we are into the DLIVE thing. Lemons for an F-bomb. How do you like those apples, Dave? By the way, Crazy Ann, I am doing fine. I am doing absolutely wonderful. I've changed some things up a bit, where I don't want to do any more depressing subjects. Even if we cover the YouTube harassment policy, I don't want that to be a downer. I have my thoughts on it, and of course, it does bum me out because I know how they'll use it. But I'm going to try to do it with a smile. Okay, so anyway, the video call-in show swear jar. I love that. Who else somebody's got to be doing that. They absolutely have to be doing that. Yeah, I tell you what, if you threw me a tip on PayPal, I would open it up, and for every tip, I would literally swear my head off. wait. What am I saying? Let's not go down that road. That's a whole nother can of worms right there. All right, so while we wait for guests, because I know you guys are all thinking about those shocking moments, those absolute, I wouldn't say devastating. They could be so simple as, I can't believe I got that punching bag as a Christmas gift when I was 7 years old. And honestly, that's one of them. You remember those punching bags that you used to blow up, and they were sand weighted in the bottom, and you'd smack them. And of course, they were like Weebles. They keep going. They keep popping back up for you to punch again. I was so happy to get that when I was, I don't know, probably 6, 7 years old, that I can't even tell you how surprised I was at that. I don't know if that's the most surprising moment in my life. I would have to say, ooh, maybe I'll just maybe I'll just keep the most surprising thing, or shocking even, of my life until near the end of the show. You guys okay with that? I want to hear yours first, so step right up. I can tell you one, and if this gives you an indication of how shocking what I would consider my most shocking moment or surprising moment, I'll tell you another one that will put it kind of in perspective. I'll never forget the first time I ever had a gun put to my head. And I know that sounds horrible. That sounds absolutely horrible. But no, true story. True story, bro. What happened is I was a young kid. I don't know, 15, 16 years old. We were at a party. It was the 70s, so there was a lot of debauchery. Let's just call it debauchery was going on. And I happened to be, I wouldn't say a part of it, but I was at the party. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, I was at the party. And we'd heard the cops have been called. Well, the first thing you do when you hear the cops have been called, you jump into the vehicle you came in, or you just find some good woods to hang in. Remember, it was the 70s, and I imagine it still has happened several thousand, 100,000 times since this day, because there have been a few years between me and 15, 16 years old. So we jump in the car, and I wasn't driving that particular night. My buddy was. And I'll be damned if somebody out of my right ear, because I was in the passenger seat, said, "Don't you move that car," and put his gun right behind my ear. He said, "Don't move." And I said, "I'm not moving anywhere." And all he wanted to know was what we were doing there. He checked to make sure my driver was okay, and then he let us go. But that was a surprise. I'm here to tell you, because we thought it was going to take a long time before the cops even got there. That wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. Let's say hello to some more folks in here. We've got Ghana Couch is in tonight. How you doing, Ghana Couch? I'm joking with Ghana. She wants to know how we're doing with the couch. Well, it's still sitting out on Craigslist. And I think I have it priced fair at $28,000. I reduced it from $32,000. And I don't know. I'm just not getting any hits on it. If you guys don't know what couch that we're referring to, you'll have to watch Sunday evening show or a bit of last night's show to find out. But we almost auctioned off a couch on Facebook Sunday night, and it was extraordinary. So Ghana wants to know how that's going. She really, really wants that couch. She says she doesn't have anywhere to put it. But I told her right outside the Starbucks that she frequents would be an ideal place. There's a nice big cinder block, what looks like a cinder block wall. She could place it right there. And I think the door is around the corner. So, she could be over there and be talking with whomever she's live streaming with, and the customers could go in over here and have their coffee, and then she could go in and get coffee. I said that is the perfect solution. So that's where we are on that one. Before I bring up my first guest, I also want to say hello to Jelly Duck 100. How are you, Jelly Duck? We've also got Tech for Your Needs. Welcome to the show again, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. Have I missed anyone else here? Somebody told me I was good at this, and I am just not as, it's really tough to, come up with, you guys all know, anyone who's ever live streamed before, you all know that it's very tough to both pay attention in the chat, say what you've got to say, worse yet if you've got a guest, because you want to give all your attention to the guests. Steve Carpenter, how you doing? Oh, thank you for the reminder to smash that like button. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's bring up our first guest. This is a repeat guest. He was up last night, and I was intrigued. Now, the problem was that I wasn't able to go in and see your videos, but let me change the title here real fast. You're not Sir Tony. Do you have a first name? Do you ever let anybody know what your first name is? You don't have to.
No,
just Toad 5?
Yeah, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
That's fine.
It just kind of depends.
Sure, your choice, man. I'm not one to pressure.
It's the whole persona thing.
Exactly. Keep mystery, man. You gotta keep it a mystery.
Yeah.
So how you doing, Toad 5?
I'm good. I'm good. I had so much fun last night. I had to come back.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. It's awesome. It's like I said, it's good to see you. Now, I went over to Twitter or Twitch, just like I told you I would, and Twitch being what they would, I think they've, I couldn't see any of your videos on there. Do you have a YouTube channel as well, or?
I don't do YouTube. There's been some time since I've been doing the cooking show.
Mhm.
I've stayed off the internet, trying not to fill my swear jar, as I'm in the process of a pretty extensive background check for a new job. So uh,
Yes, yes.
that's coming to a close right now. So I'm hoping to get back soon. I have a buddy who got into streaming like I talked about last night, and so um, slowly getting back and helping him right now. And then
Cool.
as soon as I'm secured, I'm back in there. But
Awesome.
yeah, I used to have the VODs enabled on Twitch, but it's I I think when I started, I was doing it for everyone else, and I was having a really hard time. So then I just started doing it for me. I was tired of the stream friendly music, everything being muted. So
Yeah.
now I just kind of, for people who can make it, great. If you can't make it, I'm always here. Anyone who ever wants to see anything, I'm always around.
Well, I did follow you, so I'm sure that
Awesome.
that it will notify me, because I get notified by those that I follow on all the platforms, actually, except for YouTube. YouTube is not very consistent, as we all know.
Yep.
But yeah, hopefully I'll get notified next time, man, because I'll be interested to check it out.
It's coming soon. I just got to get through this year, these holidays, and start fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh next year.
Yeah, and it's tough. Ask me how I know. When
Yeah.
when you're looking for clients or employment, it's tough to point them over here and say, "Oh, this is who I am." It's like, "Oh crap,
Yeah.
that's who you are."
Yeah, exactly.
Let me say hello to Arthur Moorhead real fast. Tote, I missed you last night, Arthur. I'm sorry, man. I saw you in the chat, and I totally missed you, dude. So welcome back to both nights of the show. I appreciate it, buddy. Arthur's been on the show a couple times. He's a good friend of the show. So I don't know. I can't ask you what has changed. It's been all of 24 hours.
Yeah, just about. Not too much has changed, but I saw the topic tonight. And I was like, I've had so many crazy things happen to me. I don't know what to pick. But then you said you had a gun put to your head, and I was like, well, I've never had a gun put to my head, but I have had a gun pointed at me, and it was a huge misunderstanding. And so
And shocking, I imagine.
yeah, I was quite surprised. Didn't really know what to do, but the whole backstory is I was in a military program in high school, and I was chosen to represent the United States in a international exchange, and so a very kind of prestigious process. It's a very, very big deal.
Sure.
And we were training in England, and one day, me and my fellow cadets and our escort officer, we're going to go into town. We're going to skip training for the day and go into town. And I don't know if have you been to England before?
I have, actually. Yeah. About around 2003.
So this was my first time, and the weather was just something else, very different. It's like always raining, but it could be, and then it's sunny, and then it's cloudy, and then misting. Now you can't see anything. It was very odd.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the Puget Sound area. I don't know if you've ever been up there in Washington State. It rarely dips below 30, and it rarely gets above 80. And then there's like this light drizzle most of the time. You do have some sunny days. Yeah.
It's very similar. I have family in Northern Oregon, and everything's always damp.
Yeah, things don't rust up there, they mold.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so we went out, and I was like, this is some pretty unpredictable weather. I'm going to wear some basketball shorts under my jeans. We're on our way off base. My escort officer strikes up a conversation with the guard, and the sun comes out, and I'm like, it's getting pretty hot. I'm going to take these pants off. Well, I started to take my pants off. I had basketball shorts under them, and lo and behold, this guard just starts screaming at me, and he had a pretty heavy accent, and I had no idea what was going on. And he's just pointing his rifle right at me,
Oh,
screaming and yelling, and I'm
wow.
like, I'm sorry, I pulled my pants. I was literally caught with my pants down, and so I pulled him back up. My escort officer was just furious. He was
At
just
you or the guard?
at me. He was so embarrassed. And to this day, I think there might have been like a statue of the Queen or something, and it was like total misunderstanding. And
international incident.
so this was the day we were getting our evals done, because every training you get an evaluation done, and this would be my first negative eval of my whole career. And I was like, this can't happen. And we ended up, he calmed down. He wrote his eval. I didn't know what it was at the time. And we ended up going out into town and having a good time. I was anxious beyond belief the rest of the training, because I'd never had a bad eval. I'm representing my country in another country. I didn't know what was going to happen. And, you know, I was young. I was 16 or 17 years old.
Still in high school.
And, you know, I said some things that weren't very nice. He was a guy who probably shouldn't have been there. And he had a lot of health issues. We had to carry all of his stuff everywhere we went. He had a lot of heart problems. We had to remind him to take his medication, all these types of things. So being young and just like, oh gosh, this is really annoying, saying some things that, you know, weren't very nice. We get back, we fly into Chicago. We're all going our separate ways. We kind of leave him very quickly. And then we go in the corner. We say goodbye to each other.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out 5 minutes after we left him in O'Hare, he had a heart attack and passed away.
Oh.
And so,
in the airport?
In the airport.
Holy cow!
And his computer was locked, and I never got my bad eval. But as a 16-year-old kid, I literally thought the not nice wishes or things that I was saying, that I was like, this is my fault.
Oh, totally, dude, that sucks.
I struggled with that, and it was a good learning lesson to, you know, you really want to be careful what you say. You know, I don't think that I possess any magic powers or anything, that I actually did it, but, you know, if it ever happens, you know, save yourself the embarrassment, the shame, all those types of things, because you never know what could be the last thing that you say to someone.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, that's the big lesson here,
because
we never know how long any of us has, right? We only have so many trips around the sun, and when it's over, it's over. And the last thing we say to those people who take that leap before we do, that's it, man. And it's funny you say that, because I literally had to I struggled with that in my mother. Strange from the family, but I was the only one that kept in contact with her for that very reason, right?
Yeah, it's, you know, and that's the thing, you know, with family, because we all have family members that are our token family members, right?
Yeah.
And but at the end of the day, they're your family, and so after it's all said and done, you're not really going to think of those things. You're going to think of that very last thing that you did or said.
Yep.
And so
so true.
I'm grateful that I can reflect back on that experience and change and be a better person about it. But you know, every now and then I have to remind myself, like, it probably wasn't a very good thing to say.
Well, at the same time, you know that you weren't the cause of it, and that's almost as important. Because young and impressionable, you're likely to think that, but you learn very quickly that I don't know. Some people believe things are meant to happen, and when it's your time, it's your time, and it doesn't matter what other people do, of course, unless it's mitigating circumstances where they murder you or something silly. But yeah, that's something you've got to let go, because you could harbor that for the rest of your life. And
yeah, you very well could. And it's, you know, if you choose to do that, you know, kind of hold on to that. It's something that you know, you may or may not be able to kind of get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to be there, and if you take that approach, you know, you probably have a couple things to get in order before you're kind of capable of shedding that.
Yeah. Stack it on all those things that we all hold inside, waiting for the next therapist to come by and dump it on.
You know, hopefully they do. Hopefully they do. You know, I think therapy is a good thing for everyone. You know, in whatever form is kind of heck. This could be therapy for, you know, many of the viewers, just coming in and you know, just having the opportunity to talk and say things, you know, and get it out. It's very therapeutic.
I like to think so. And I've had a lot of people on in this last year, some of which, like, we're going through things and we're asking, you know, the old guy's advice. And that made me feel good that I could, one, throw a little bit of experience their way and maybe even talk about some options they hadn't thought of. But I like to think, I like to think it's a bit therapeutic to get some things off your chest. Shocking or not shocking. Yeah.
You know, saying something and just knowing that you're being listened sometimes is just, it's huge. You know, I provide therapy, mostly support in the type of therapy that I provide, but you know, the thing that kind of sets me apart from a lot of people I work with is just listening. You know, it doesn't matter how silly or off topic someone is saying, just listen. You know, there's a reason they're saying that. And are they really telling you everything? And so if you listen long enough, you're going to hear exactly what's going on. And then you could really get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to ask those right questions too, because they may not even know what they want to say. If you ask them the right questions, that helps to draw it out, I found. And that's interesting. Yeah. This should be an entire topic, actually.
Yeah, no, totally. It could be a whole series of you know, episodes. There's just it's so dynamic, and problems usually are not just one thing.
Yeah.
You know, it could be multi-layered, and like you said, some people may not even know. They know that they're feeling something. They know that they're thinking something. They don't know what that means. They don't know what the repercussions of some of those thoughts and feelings are.
That's true. And oftentimes, like you said, getting it off their chest is suddenly a load that they've been able to release, right? They didn't even know how to do it. But I know a lot of times I've got some things to say. And when I do, I feel much better about it because suddenly I hear myself say it. And that can be as important as someone else listening to that. And I would,
especially, you know, your thoughts are going 100 million miles in your head, so you're thinking all this stuff, and
you're too close to the problem.
Yeah, and then you say it, you slow down, you say it out loud, and you're like, wow, that's not really what I was thinking or feeling, and now I'm looking at this from a different perspective. Or maybe it helps you kind of move away from some self-defeating thoughts or different things like that.
Yes.
And just saying it, man, or writing it down. You know, some people draw, write, paint, interpretive dance.
You saw the Open, didn't you?
For today, was there interpretive dance? Did I miss it?
Well, no. The person that suggested this topic, this particular one, M Living Art. I would call what she does interpretive dance. She also has a wonderful way with words as well, but there's a meaning to every one of her videos, and that's the same sort of thing, right? She's literally expressing herself that way, and I know it helps her work through some difficulties in her life. We've talked about it before.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do with my cooking show. I moved up here. I go outside. I look around. I don't see anyone, so I had to find something. I don't know if you've deduced yet, I'm a pretty social guy.
Yeah.
And moving to a place where I didn't know anyone, or there's very few people to even engage with, I was like, I got to do something.
Oh, you're lucky you did it in this time, right?
Yeah.
'Cause now you've got this, which virtually when I was your age, because I have to imagine, well, you're probably in your 20s still.
I am 31.
Oh, you wear 31 well.
I think 31.
I had you
Yeah.
pegged for like 27.
Perfect. I'll take it. I'll allow it. Yeah.
No, if somebody would tell me I'm 27. Um, and yeah, when I was 27, this sort of thing didn't really exist at all.
Oh, yeah.
So if I were to move, or if you were to have moved to a remote location during those times, your solution would have been entirely different. It
Yeah.
might have been animals, might have been raising animals, because that helps as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So,
it's funny you bring that up. That's something me and my wife we do. We rescue animals that are kind of like behavior cases. That's what our background is in, and we rescue dogs that other people are gonna be like, well, that's too much. So
oh,
yeah,
nice.
you got to fill that void somehow. Because I moved here and I was like, I love it here. I really do, but there's a huge hole. There's a huge hole missing, and being able to connect with people on the cooking show was just, for me, very therapeutic,
Hmm.
and able to kind of scratch that itch for socialization, because I work with kids on the autism spectrum. There's days where I could not say a full sentence, or have a back and forth conversation with someone, or I'm working with a parent, and like you say, having topics that are downers very frequently, it can we're all human. I do pretty good at detaching from other people's types of things, and helping them really makes it fulfilling. But yeah, sometimes you gotta step up out of the mud for a little bit.
Yeah, you do.
And
You do. Yeah.
yeah, everyone has their thing, and for those that don't, I hope they find it, because it's we all have wants, we all have needs, and sometimes we don't know how we're gonna fulfill those yet.
That's true. That is so true. I can't wait to actually put that topic into practice. My original thought was that I was going to invite people on to, and I'll paraphrase, but to tell me the problems, right? And we would work through them. And the more I thought about that, the more depressing it seemed. And in my effort to not bring this into some sort of total therapy show. I mean, it's a therapy on a certain level, but I didn't want it to be the focus.
Yeah.
This helps. I think I can develop just a special night, right? I'll use it as a subject, and let people come on whenever they do want to talk through some things. Oh, that's actually pretty good right there.
Yeah.
Talk through it with Jim.
Yeah. And I think what you got going on here, and from what I've seen so far, is um, your byproduct is that therapeutic experience, or that positive experience, because you know everyone knows there's this, you can turn right, you can turn left, up and down. There's so many negative things surrounding everyone. There's so much going on in every facet of life right now that you could really just get down on. And one of the best things I've done recently is stop listening to the news.
Me too.
Turn the news off. I stay in touch with what I need to, but just I have XM radio. I used to listen to it all day.
Yeah.
And it was just too much for me to handle, and so I kind of stepped away from it. And yeah, it was night and day. Luckily, I had things to replace it with, because that's the most important thing. You can make a decision to not do one thing that's bringing you down, but what are you going to fill that void with? And
Right.
mine was the baseball winter meetings, and the Padres did some things, and there's, whether the rest of it is just rumors, I'll take it. I'll eat anything up at this point. But yeah, the news could really get you down, or just other things, some
There's a ton, especially if you find
family stuff.
family stuff. If you find yourself in YouTube hell, and I use that across all of the social media platforms, you can really just find yourself in deep and hating the world, and not sure where things are going. I would advise you folks not to do that. Every once in a while, you were talking about XM radio. I remember when I had Sirius radio, it was like just a free subscription when I bought my last vehicle. And one of my favorites was the comedy. They had stand-up comics and their bits. They would just run them back to back. Loved that channel. I kept it on most of the time.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's my wife's go-to. They have a new one now. It's called Netflix is a Joke Radio, and it's all Netflix. So if you like something, you could go onto Netflix and watch that bit. And she always comes home. She's like, I thought of you. This guy said this, and that's something people have always said that I should probably do, but I've stayed away from that. I think I'm funny enough. I don't need other people to think I'm funny, because comedy is one of those weird things, and it could be funny to one person, but not funny to someone else. You know,
oh yeah.
Kind of full circle back to what I was talking about. At 16-year-old me, oh ha ha ha! I hope this happens. Yeah, careful what you wish for, because when it does, it hits you really hard and it hits you right in the nose.
Yes, it does, and it's getting worse, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I really feel bad for the comics. I do.
Yeah, it's I think one of my favorite comics is and he's kind of fizzled out, but Sacha Baron Cohen and what he's been able to do with his, just like, talk about shocking and surprising, his shock comedy, but it's just so real and raw, and like what he's kind of been able to get people to do is kind of fascinating. It's fascinating. It's sad a little bit, but I think I don't know if we're quite ready for a lot of those things yet. The world.
Well, it's funny. He was just in the news the other day, and I'll go through this quick because I got a couple more guests to get to. But he actually looks at it now in hindsight, and he probably had some of this in his mind as more of a social experiment. Yeah, which I thought was fascinating. I don't agree with him on most of his points, but he's a comedian, and funny is funny.
Yeah, it's certainly a sociological perspective that he takes and kind of does these things, and it's like, whoa. Yeah. Afterwards, you try and digest, and you're like, oh, that just happened. What do you do with that information afterwards? Right. And that's I think very similar with the newest Batman or the Joker movie. Wonderful movie, cinematically amazing.
No spoilers.
Fantastic. But it's like, are we ready for a movie like that?
Oh, now I've got to go see it.
No spoilers, but yeah, definitely check it out. I think it's that would be a good topic. For those who have seen it, not putting anything out there, but it's just to get some reactions on that. That would be a very, very interesting.
It would.
Topic,
it would.
for sure.
Well, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna watch it, and who knows? Maybe it will be another topic.
Yeah, I'll be there for that for sure.
Awesome. Well, Toad 5, man, thanks again for coming up. I appreciate it. One of these days we will learn your first name, and
yes, you will. I'm gonna stick around long enough, and you guys are gonna earn that for sure.
Keep them guessing, man. Keep them guessing. Well, have a good evening, man, and we'll talk at you next time.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Jim. Have a good night.
You too.
See ya.
That was Toad 5. That he was a guest that was up last night for the first time. He comes over from Twitch. I love having people on. I just absolutely love it. And we have M Living Art in the chat. What are the odds? Have you just been lurking and suddenly I pulled you out, M? Because this is your subject. This was the one you chose, or you suggested. She actually sent me a list of subjects, and I've just now gotten around to this one. So thanks again, Em. I appreciate that. I do need to say hello to a few people before I bring up my next guest. We've had Stacy Morgan. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. I am doing good. PMDB Videos, welcome to the show. We've got Beth B. Scratchology. Welcome again to both of you. Appreciate it. And let's see, who else did I see? Chris Hope, how you doing? Angel Muniz Variety Show, how you doing, Angel? Good to see you, my friend. Have I missed anyone? Gosh. Oh, View This, how you doing, Tony? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good evening to all of you. All right, let's do this. Let's bring up my next guest and find out I think I know what's going to be shocking here. Hello, Gianna.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm freezing my ass off.
Did I leave you out in the cold? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Now, if you only had that nice warm couch outside the Starbucks, like I told you to.
Exactly. I know. I'm really thinking about investing in it.
Well, I would give you a discount because
you.
we're friends. I'd hate to have you see you have to pay full price. I'm thinking 2% off, and it's out the door.
That's good. I like that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, gee, thanks, Jim. You're giving her like $500 off of a $28,000 couch.
You are. It's better than nothing. Take what I can get, man.
And that was really, really bad math. Well, how are you doing besides just freezing?
I don't know. I'm okay. I'm at Starbucks again, blaring Christmas music. That's not shocking, though. I think we expect that.
Yes, that is not shocking. Not even surprising.
No. I totally forgot what I was going to say when I came up here.
Well, were you going to...
We talked about the couch.
We talked about the couch. Were you going to tell me about something that was shocking or surprising in your life?
Everything.
The most? How about the most?
Everything. Every day, life is shocking and surprising. I don't even have one that tops it all. Every day I wake up, I'm like,
Isn't it funny? We can almost always name the worst thing that's ever happened to us. But the most shocking or surprising, or even the happiest moment, sometimes people have a hard time with that. But the shocking and most surprising, that seems to be a tough one.
It really is. I don't know. Like, I need video ideas. I think this is shocking.
No, it's not shocking.
Right.
We all struggle with that, as you know.
I don't know if I can do a Jim sausage hole part 2. I mean, that could happen.
You could do a Jim's couch hole.
Ooh, but I need a couch. This is my problem.
Oh, you need a couch.
I have all these ideas. Can I rent it from you?
Well, just print out my couch and paste it to a piece of cardboard.
That's a good idea. Okay.
Or
I like where this is going.
You remember we talked about making a couch kit out of cardboard boxes.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, man.
I do that too.
I can see you doing a pro wrestler jump on those boxes when it's all over with, and that would be the close out of the video. Well, I am giving far too much away here.
I bet it would be a little sturdier than your actual couch, so I could do that.
I'm afraid you might be right. But don't tell my Craigslist audience that.
No, that's okay. It's a great couch. You guys should really, it's a good investment.
She's only joking. Well, they don't know about my show, so I think we're safe.
Right. You're definitely safe. You're good. I don't really have anything shocking. Like I said, every day, life is shocking.
Yes, it is.
Every day. And people are so rude in their cars.
Oh, is that a car?
It's a car.
Sounded like a motorcycle.
Outside. It's cold.
That was surprising.
I just wanted to talk about couches.
Make you feel all warm inside. What if we talked about
monetized?
Oh. No, we have parental consent. How you doing?
Yes, you do.
Yes, this is actually parental consent. You are more than welcome on the show. How you doing, buddy? Do you have headphones in? Can he see me or hear me?
He can see you, but he can't hear you.
Can't hear me.
It says hello. This thing right here, this was shocking. This was the most shocking of shocking.
There you go. I was surprised. The most shocking moment in my life was that you didn't say that first.
Well, like I said, every day. It's
every
shocking.
day.
That thing right there. I wake up to that thing. Can you stop it?
Video bomb. I love it.
I can't believe people have more than one of these things. That's...
Well, people will collect anything, I've found.
My grandmother had 10 of them.
Oh, wow.
That was shocking.
Yes. That means you're probably littered with aunts, uncles, and cousins.
I am. So many. I have 7 brothers spread out through my family. It's a hot mess.
Yeah. You have 7 brothers as well?
I have 7 brothers.
Holy cow. How many sisters?
Yeah.
Are you the only girl?
One adopted sister. I'm the only girl.
Oh, and they adopted 2? That is dedication to the collection right there.
See, every day it's shocking. Every day I wake up and it's just shocking. You.
I'm cutting this out. It's going to be its own guest cut.
Okay. Yeah. They see you. You have your 10 seconds of fame.
Awesome.
More than 10 seconds of fame.
Yes. Yes. Well, it's 15 minutes, and we haven't been on that long, so.
I hear you, Jim.
That's Jim. Yes, that's right. That's Jim. You hate Jim?
What?
I'm so sorry.
Okay, actually, I love you.
Oh, okay. Well, that was kind of you. Thank you.
I trick you, Jim. I literally always trick
You are a trickster, yes.
you.
Let you be on my lap? Oh, my. This is life every day.
Yes.
Pull
Yes.
out my headphones, buddy.
And it is wonderful, honestly. It can be surprising. It can be shocking. It can be difficult at times. But it is the greatest thing on the planet.
This is my life.
Yep.
Daily.
I know, because Ghana, that's your only son, right?
Yes.
I only have a son. He's now 30. He's having kids on his own. I miss those days that you're enjoying right now. So
I do. I love these days. Hey, you're gonna hurt me and you're gonna hurt yourself. Please be careful.
now go away.
You're gonna hurt everybody.
I love these days too. Now go away.
I love you, Jim.
I love you too, buddy.
Loves you too.
1,000 thumbs up.
1,000 thumbs up for Jim. That's right.
You heard him, folks. 1,000.
Thumbs up all around.
1,000 thumbs up.
999.
That's a lot.
Well, Ghana, you need to get warm, huh? You guys need to get somewhere warm, unless you're on your way somewhere.
Oh no, that's not no. It's always cold. I'm cold-hearted by nature, so I don't feel anything.
Ah, that's good.
That's really good. Especially when life turns shocking. I don't feel anything. Everyone else freaks out. I'm just like,
Ain't nothing but a thing.
I got this. So speaking of selling couches, I have this beautiful tiny child.
What's the going rate on those guys? Who's willing to put up the first bid?
Going rate for this one? You can rent them on the weekends.
Ooh, a rental.
No, don't do anything to me.
A rental child.
Jim.
He's a great entertainer. So.
I can see that. Was that Wookiee?
Concert?
Was that a Wookiee that he just did?
Please
Doing Chewbacca?
take me with you. Jim, take me with you, please. I don't want to live with this nightmare anymore.
Why am I a nightmare?
You're terrifying.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, from the mouths of babes.
Jim, please.
There's nothing like waking up at night with a toddler staring over you, and you just stare at them. And they're like, "Good morning, Mama." How long have you been there?
Oh, memories you will treasure for a lifetime.
I would.
Oh, I do. I love every minute of it.
Mom, sell me for Jim. Holy.
Jim, I will trade you one couch for this.
I'm afraid I'm getting a bargain on that one, Ghana.
I think this is fair because he's potty trained and he's learning to do the dishes.
Oh, the couch can do neither of those things.
See?
You're getting the short end of the stick on that one.
I don't know.
Of course,
I can sleep on that couch.
well, you don't have to feed the couch much.
Yeah, no, I think this is good. I think this is a good trade. I love you.
All right, well, I'll have my people contact your people, and we'll make this work.
Definitely shoot me an email. You know how to contact me. I am so for this. But yeah, I really didn't have anything to say.
Jim, please.
Oh.
He's got more to say than I did.
Jim, please
Wonderful.
take me with you. Please, save me. I don't want to be with this nightmare anymore.
You don't want to be up here where it's really cold. I mean, you guys are working in 50s. We're working in the teens.
Oh man, yeah, Avery, calm down. Everybody on the internet can see and hear us.
Well, not everybody.
Well, at least 16 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So 16, and then if I share this out on my Facebook, that's another 290 something.
Yes.
If they click on it, that's math. I don't do math.
Oh, I don't either. Apparently, you heard my poor math earlier. I don't even know what I'm selling the couch for. I'm gonna have to go back to the ad.
Well, now you're trading it for a kid, so I think
Yeah.
this is fair.
Well, I'm not even going to put a price on that because that's certainly priceless.
So's that couch.
I know. I hate to get rid of it. It's like half the people don't even know what we're talking about.
Nope, that's okay. They don't have to.
That is okay.
Just hit me in the face.
Well, you guys go get somewhere warm. I'm 9 minutes away from closing the show out, and I want to get Nora up here if you don't mind, hon.
Ooh, Nora, yeah, go for it.
Cool. Well, we know what you already said that he was the most surprising. I wouldn't say shocking, but surprising.
So surprising. He's shocking
And
too.
he continues to surprise.
Every day. This is surprising. See, everyday shocking.
Now have your Starbucks coffee, and you can't hear a word I'm saying. Yeah.
All right. He's trying to say good night. Can you say good night?
Good night.
Good night. Oh, anytime, Ghana. Anytime. You know what they say? Never work with children or animals.
Oh, definitely not.
Well, you guys go get somewhere warm, will you?
All right, we will.
All right. We'll talk to both of you later. Bye-bye. Oh,
Bye, Dad.
adorable. Bye-bye. Adorable. You just never know. Live broadcast, you just never know. Yes, absolutely. That is a filmmaker's mantra right there. Children and animals. Nope. Do not want to work. Do not want to work with them. Before we go any further, I'm going to tell you what mine is. Since we've just had that with Ghana, I'm going to tell you what my most surprising moment was. And I know this is going to seem a bit anticlimactic, but it was my son. The wife and I have been married for 5 years, and he was a surprise. Some people would say accident, and I'm like, no. There are no accidents in that respect. He was literally a surprise. We weren't planning. We knew we were going to have kids, but we weren't planning one, and boom, there he was. So, a very, very pleasant surprise, as most of you well know. Wouldn't have it any other way. And now I have a wonderful granddaughter who was planned, by the way. See, we in the 70s, things were different. 80s, things were a little bit different. Some people planned, but it wasn't like it is today. I think people, I don't know, maybe that's an anecdotal misstep, but I think people plan a bit more for kids than they used to. So, well, we'll leave it there. Let's, if I missed anyone in the chat, thank you, M. Living Art. I appreciate the kind words there. Really do. You guys got a whole conversation going on there that I missed. 50. Who's 50 today? Two Family Homestead. How you doing? Welcome back to the show. But crap, my dad makes me watch. Adam, how you doing? Says 50 today. Who's? Somebody tell me in the chat whose birthday it is. I had no idea that somebody had a birthday tonight. Sold to Jim for one couch. That was the worst rendered gavel I've ever done in my entire life. All right, let's bring up our next guest, shall we? I need to go look for his lower third here. Oh, hang on just a minute here.
Am I good?
Just about. There we go. Yep. How you doing, Jake?
Pretty good.
Good to see you again, man.
It's good to see you too. Well, I have nothing to compete after your last guest.
You have no kids. You don't even want to get into a child bidding war for my couch. That's probably
I've already bid 1 cent in the chat in the chat.
Well, you should know, Nora. I think you missed Sunday's show, but I think we got as high as $10.55. So you're on the bid.
Well, here's your surprising fact of the week.
Uh-oh.
I spent the whole day from probably about 8 o'clock this morning till about almost 8 o'clock tonight binge watching on your recent videos and streams.
No way. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Including your Sunday Smash panel.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. That was a fun one. The ethanol conversation, although Gaffa Haynes and I had a really good discussion about it. Probably wasn't ready for the masses, and maybe what he said a little too late. But man, when that couch thing came up, that turned out to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Oh, we had all kinds of offers for that thing. Hello, Grumpy Vlogger and Infinite Moi. Welcome back to the show, guys. So, Nora, Jake, your most surprising or shocking moment of your life? What do we got?
There's a bunch, but I don't really know offhand.
I want to hear that story about the time you were standing in the middle of an active rail and were shooting off to the side. Your buddy saw a train coming and pushed you at the last moment. And you're both okay, and you went and had drinks and laughed about it later. No, that didn't happen?
No. But I've seen some. Some crazy things happen though. You know, I was actually real fanning this year, and 2 trains were coming on. You know, like this to be which I'm going to be uploading that video next year.
Ooh.
So there's a little spoiler alert.
Yeah, well, not a spoiler alert. That was a nice teaser.
but I've seen 2 people walk across the road at the exact same time, not stopping, gates are down, lights are flashing, like.
And they made it. They made it, right?
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, somebody did lose a life just this past month at that same crossing. So, but which. I guess the most shocking or surprising thing that happened to me was I was actually rail fanning one day, and I was in a new area. You know, I try to hit new locations, new towns, new cities, etc. But somebody actually called the police on me because I was
just walking the rails, or were you in a yard, or what?
Well, I was in a safe area.
Oh.
I was rail fanning. But because of my location where I was at, which was a high suicidal rate area.
Oh, wow.
All I had was my phone.
Mm-hmm.
But since they saw me do this, they knew that, you know, but just precaution, the police came, checked up on me. I had to give them my information, all that stuff. And ever since that, I'm like, okay. And this is why merchandise is so important. If you're going to be outside doing your whatever you're going to be doing, is to always have it on there. That way, people know, hey, he's a YouTuber.
That's interesting. I'd never thought about that. Of course, you know, I don't do any field recording, honestly. But that's not true. I probably record more than I should, but it rarely makes it to YouTube. But not for this show. I mean, this show doesn't call for it. But that's interesting for those folks who are actually out doing field recording to wear your merch. And guys, this is a PSA right here. Wear your merch. So if in fact you find yourself somewhere where the cops come out to find out what you're doing, or even let's say business owners or landowners that you didn't know that you were trespassing or on the wrong property, that gives them an idea of what you're there for. Not to off yourself. If you know, since you said it was a popular suicide point.
Yep.
Good point, Nora. Awesome.
And of course, if I'm in a new area, you know, at a new business, I always go to that business and say, hey, I'm a real fan. I like trains. Do you mind if I film on your property? Yes.
Oh, that's huge. You got to do that. You've got to make sure that you get permission.
Yep.
And some of the folks, of course, Luke Duke Outdoors comes over as a flash rate. Are you guys' show just now ending? That's awesome. But they do the same thing. Whenever they gold pan or they're detecting, same thing applies, man. You've got to get permission from the folks to do what you want to do on that plot of land. Even the government sometimes, because they won't let you. I think in Ohio, it's you can't legally pan on government property or state property. So you've got to dot your I's and cross your T's when it comes to that sort of thing. Man, we're just giving out all kinds of great information, Jake. Oh, and if you do want to be shocked, and if you're inclined to go watch The Morbid, I can remember. I don't even know if this site actually exists anymore, and search for it at your own risk. But it's rotten.com. You probably know of rotten.com. They used to have a section on rail mishaps, and it's gruesome. It is. You've got to have a strong stomach to go to those sort of sites. But it was all the rage back in the 90s. I'm here to tell you, and I saw some things that I can still see in my head today. So
well, that's the thing. I don't want to see anything like that. I don't want to see, because then I'm going to be like completely changed.
Yes, it can change you. So guys, don't go to those sites if you don't want to be shocked. I only mention it as a kind of part of the PSA. What it does is I can remember, and this is going to take a dark turn, Nora, I'm so sorry, but
Okay.
I can remember when Faces of Death first came out, way back in I want to say it was the early 80s. Check me if I'm wrong, chat, but it was shocking, and worse yet, it was shocking to hear that most of it was staged. But they did cover some real life tragedies that really give you a new perspective on how fragile we are as an animal. So
Well, just there's actually back in the days of early transportation, there was actually called the Lakeshore Michigan interurban system. It was like a bus, and they transported. Well, just down the road where by location, there was actually an accident where a bus and that tram collided.
Ooh.
Now, unfortunately, there has been some lives that were claimed in that accident.
You just never know. Kind of like we were talking to Toad 5. You just never know when it's going to happen. So it makes the golden rule that I state at the end of every show even more important, right? Because you don't want your last words to be one that you'll feel guilty about, like Toad did. I still want to learn your first name, Toad. I feel weird referring to him as Toad. But yeah, same thing applies, right? If you're nice to people most of the time, people are going to get angry, people are going to argue, but if you for the most part treat them well, then you won't have those guilt feelings when it does happen as a surprise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, what other? You say you can't think of any, but you had a few in there. Oh, let me say hello to all the guys who came over from Flash in Your Pan. We got Luke Duke Outdoors. Pardon me, just for a minute, Jake. We've got American Gold Prospectors. We've got excuse me, Outdoorsy Gallo. How you doing, Chrissy? And Gary Sprinkler Repair. How are you? Good to see you. And I think I said hello to Lloyd, the Grumpy Vlogger. How are you, Lloyd? Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here, guys. Where were we? Oh, I was asking you if you had any other shocking, how about just surprising moments in your life? You're kind of a young guy, so you're probably not going to have too many, but
Well, I've seen a lot of, I don't want to sound boring, on here, because I do talk a lot about the railroad. That's my main interest in the hobby. There's other things out there that I like doing, but sticking with the channel name, I've seen a lot of interesting, surprising things along with the railroad. Seeing some interesting equipment roll through, some expected, some unexpected.
I would add to that and say that that's usually the reason we collect things, because we're looking for the surprising, right? In that bunch of whatever the genre is. So awesome. Well, Well, Nora, what's going on in your life? We're 4 past the top of the hour. So I'm going to ask you what's going on with Northern Ohio Railroad, excuse me, action. Besides the promo you just threw out there, the teaser you just threw out there, anything?
Nothing new. Just videos are still going out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Cool.
I'm using the new YouTube uploader system, which I actually like it.
You do?
I don't know about you. I don't know about you guys, but I actually like the new uploader.
Yeah.
I actually tweeted about it yesterday. That's just how I am. You have to use step by step, and you have to take it slow and patient.
You do.
It's fairly easy.
Yeah, and I'll get used to it. I'm sure most of us will. I'm usually an early adopter, but for some reason I had a problem with this one because I've got a formula when I upload my videos, and I kind of had a process that I go through, and it made me change the process. Well, I kind of saw it as unnecessary, but I'll get to like it. I'm sure, absolutely. Yep. Well, dude, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Guys, go check out Northern Ohio Railroad action. If you're into trains and whatnot, it's very, very cool stuff. Jake, appreciate it, buddy.
Yep, you have a good holiday season.
Oh, same to you if I don't talk to you again. All right, buddy. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Good guy there. And I mean it. It's really cool stuff. I wouldn't consider myself necessarily a rail fan, although loving mechanics, just the inner workings of everything always intrigues me, and I'm always really interested in it. In fact, I love the old steamers and the diesels, come to think of it, and how they operated and how they took the world by storm. So I guess I'm kind of a closet, what would you call that? A trainiac, Nora? Did I just make up a word that might catch on? I don't know. A few more to say hello to before we close it out tonight. We got Nugget Brain Peterson. How you doing? Wayne, good to see you. And we've also got Not a Great Gamer. Good to see you. Trains have wheels. You're absolutely right, my friend. Absolutely right. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone or missed anyone. Okay, so hope you enjoyed that. I may do another one of these. I don't know. But I tell you what, I am definitely going to do what Tote 5 and I were talking about in some way, shape, or form where you can just get it off your chest. We'll have a night where you can just get it off your chest. We'll talk through it. I love that idea. I absolutely love that idea. I'll probably do another poll. Remember, there's another poll in my community tab right now, whether or not you'd like to talk about the new YouTube harassment policy. If you guys want to discuss that, I will certainly put together that show. If it's been done to death, then I will table that as well. But I will depend on that poll in the community tab, and I will put another poll in very soon about that same thing, the get it off your chest night. That I love that. I love probably more than the news night, because the news night is kind of a pain in the ass when you. Most of the news is all political now, and it's so tough to separate it into something that a whole lot of people will talk about. So maybe that would be another poll. So tomorrow, on that subject, tomorrow night, we're going to talk about those holiday recipes that happen every year for you at family gatherings. We are in the holiday time of the year, and I want to know, every family, every gathering I know has certain foods and recipes and whatnot that a certain person brings to the table. I want to hear about those. I've got a bunch that I can go through, and I want to hear about yours as well. But that will be tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're joining us on DLive or Twitch, make sure you send a follow on this channel. If you're watching us on YouTube for the first time and you're not a subscriber, please become a subscriber. I would appreciate it. And of course, ring that bell, like, and share if you feel so inclined. Folks, Thanks to all my guests. The show actually was a lot more fun than I thought it would be. I love the flashing my nip-nips. Okay. I knew you did, Chrissy. Loves special recipes. In fact, this tomorrow night's subject was suggested by Outdoorsy Gallo. So you guys got to make that. But for tonight, that's going to do it for me, folks. I want to thank all my guests once again, and all you folks in the chat. Love to see you there chatting away, and it's just heartwarming, especially during the holidays. But of course, that's going to do it for me tonight. You guys, make sure that you treat others the way you want to be treated. If we all did that, if we all did that, let me try that again. If we all did that, this world would be a fantastic place. Take care, folks. We'll see you live.